Well, I didn't think I'd be saying this, but the Colorado Avalanche are lucky to get a point at home against the Anaheim Ducks. But here we are. So let's talk about it on a new episode of Locked On Avalanche coming at you.
You're Locked On Avalanche, your daily podcast on the Colorado Avalanche. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
All right, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Locked On Avalanche, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm your host, Chris Micieli. Joining me, as always, Mr. Zach Pearson. Thank you for tuning in, making it your first listen of the day, and for making the Locked On Podcast Network the number one sports podcast network in the country. And on today's episode, it's all about this 2-1 coin flip shootout for the Anaheim Ducks that they get the extra point. And the Avs did everything they could to get a goal, and they finally break through late in the third. Really, all you really had to watch in this game was the third period, because periods 1 and 2, not much going on for I mean, they were getting shots on goal and everything like that, but I don't know. This was not like your typical Avalanche hockey game, not like excitement really at all. I think Anaheim was just happy they got that 1-0 lead and just happy to try and play defense, but the Avs were getting shots on them. I don't know, man. But in the third, they flipped the switch, they turned things on, and even then you were like, are they going to get anything past Dostal? Because he was out of this world great. But they finally break through, they get the point, go to overtime, exciting overtime. We'll talk about all this stuff, and then you get to the coin flip, and then it is what it is. So are you happy with the point in this one? Like, what do you think?
After watching the first 60 minutes and getting through regulation, yes, I'm happy with a point. At the beginning of the night, before the puck drop in the first period, if you'd have told me you're only getting 1 point out of this game, I'd have probably been more frustrated than I am now.
Mm-hmm.
The first, I don't know, the Avs actually started, I thought, not too bad. The first 10, 15 minutes, I thought, were not terrible.
Right.
Maybe 10 minutes. First half of the first period sounds about right. Second half, maybe not quite as much. Then you get into the second period, and I don't even know what team was put out there for that. I mean, that's when Anaheim gets their goal. That whole period just felt like Anaheim's game, and the Avs were lucky to be on the same ice. That was crazy.
Yeah.
And then the third period comes in, like you said, all of a sudden that was like switch flipped. You did better than you did in the first period. You did significantly better than you did in the second. And yeah, I mean, you were getting goalied, and we're going to get to him. But I think I saw like halfway through the third period, Anaheim had already blocked 22 shots. I don't even know what they finally finished at, but they were... You weren't able to get shots off. You weren't able to get passes.
24 is what they finished with.
Okay.
So, and you saw somewhere after 2 periods, they had 22?
Somewhere in the third. It was
somewhere in the third. Okay.
Point of the third. They had 22. Okay. So,
yeah.
I mean, yeah. It's just, they did a really good job.
They do.
Anaheim had a good game plan, and the Avalanche did not have an answer for it, it seemed. I was, like I said, not thrilled, but it's not the worst.
I don't think they didn't play a poor game. I thought, the second period wasn't much. I want to sit here and say like, that was a good period. I don't think it was, this awful period, but I think the Avs, for the most part, did what they wanted to do, especially in that third period. Like they turned up the heat in the third period. And again, you just look at the stats, everything favors the Avs. When that usually happens, they score more than 1 goal. You just flat out got goalied by a goalie that was just completely dialed in.
Oh my
completely
gosh.
Locked in. Yeah, I mean, you finish with 41 shots on goal.
I know.
Come on. 41 shots on goal, 6 of them high danger chances. He was just making saves left, right, and center. And in the one goal that they got, it was either going to be just an incredible goal, which it was, or just some fluky thing that was a redirect off 2 guys, ping pongs off everybody and goes off a skate. And, one of those things. We're not going to beat him just, okay, here's a pass, here's a shot from a perimeter. It just didn't seem like it was going to happen. And, the goal that you got, a beautiful pass from Brock Nelson, which went a millimeter past. I don't know who that was on the defensive end from on Anaheim. Just this was past his stick right to Arturri Lehkonen for a great shot, great goal. Like, it was going to need to be something like that. And then, you go to overtime and they were gassed at the end. Like, even the clock is ticking down 3-2-1 and Anaheim has a late opportunity there. But I thought it was entertaining overtime. You had chances. Goals that normally have been going in for the Avalanche this year, Dostal stopped them. You give him all the credit in the world for Anaheim getting the second point here.
Well, and I do want to talk about him more. Hey, man, Ross Colton was all of us, but I mean, he deserves it more than all of us.
Mm-hmm.
That dude is the most snake-bitten player I think I have ever witnessed. I am relatively certain he could not trade every dime of his contract for a goal right now. I don't know what's going on. And I get, like, Dostal, great, made some awesome saves against him, but that is the universe stopping that guy from being able to put one in. And when he slammed his stick against the glass, I was like, I feel for him.
Blame you.
I really do, because he's playing well. I have no problems with anything I think he's doing on the ice. The guy deserves to score and just can't. And it's absolutely crazy.
He's like he's a skating power play right now. It's like you're okay with what he's doing, but the end results are just not coming in goals. So it's wild.
It is absolutely.
You had your best chance prior to the Lehkonen one was the Bardakov one. That was the back and forth he did with Manson. He's right there, and just it goes right off of the post, point blank.
Bardakov's gonna. What was it? Whoever said it on the broadcast, he's gonna have nightmares about that tonight.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
That was a rough one.
I this is what it is. Did you look at Money Puck at all or no?
Yes, I did. The deserve to win-o-meter is very much our friend. In the sense that
doesn't mean much.
No.
Well, the thing about it is, first of all, it's 85% in favor of the Avalanche.
Yep.
They win that game on 1,000 simulations. And I say this all the time, like especially in the StatCast, just to remind people like what they're going off of when they talk about the deserve to win-o-meter. They lean heavily on what they call average goaltending. So that doesn't surprise me that the game that you watched and the opportunities that the Avalanche had, 41 shots on goal, 6 high danger shots. I don't have natural stat trick up, but I'm wondering how many high danger chances they had. All of that stuff. High danger
chances for was 18, including overtime.
Okay, so like all of that stuff usually translates into more than one goal for the Avalanche this season.
Yeah,
just didn't for this game.
No.
Just did not. So, let's get our first break in. There's obviously more we have to talk with this one, and then of course we have some subtext people chiming in, and of course sound checks as well. So let's get a first break in. More to talk about this one on the other side. Let's hear from Game Time. There is nothing like being near the ice during hockey season. The speed, the hits, the atmosphere, It is unmatched, and watching at home is great, of course, but being in the building is completely different. And the only thing that used to get in the way was actually getting tickets, long queues, endless screens, and prices that somehow changed at checkout. That's why the Game Time app gives the advantage back to the fans. It's the hack for unlocking amazing NHL tickets and experiences in just a few taps. So take the guesswork out of buying NHL tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off of your first purchase. Terms apply. So again, create the account and redeem the code LOCKEDONNHL, LOCKEDON NHL for $20 off with Game Time. All right, before we get back into the action, I just want to also mention our Everydayer Club, which has been live for a little while now. You see the link on the bottom of the screen if you are over on YouTube, or it is in the show notes below. You get access to the subtext crew, our Discord channel, ad-free versions of this very podcast, and some exclusive content that Zach and I put out weekly, including I talked about the StatCast in the first segment. We do that. Zach puts out his weekly power rankings, which should be interesting for this week.
Yeah, they might be. We'll see.
You lose sleep over those power rankings. So
that's why I look so tired right now, is lack
not
of
because
sleep to power ranking.
It's not watching that game. It's agonizing over the power rankings. So
yeah, well, I don't sleep at night. So then when the game puck drop doesn't start till 7, then it's everything just gets thrown out.
So we do a lot over there on the Everydayer Club. So if you want to sign up for that, it would be greatly appreciated. Like I said, links on the bottom of your screen on YouTube or over in the show notes below. So join that today. All right, back to this game. What do you think? I mean, anybody else stand out for you that you thought either had a good game or a bad game? Because I'm sure there's some on both sides.
I even took a note down, and I think I haven't looked at all of his stats yet, but he made a couple of really solid defensive plays and then a bit of a boneheaded turnover in overtime, but I'm not going to hold that one against him quite as much. I actually kind of enjoyed Sam Girard's game tonight. I thought he had a couple of back checking plays that I thought he did really well on. Again, a few plays that I wasn't a huge fan of, including the OT one, but in the game, I wrote down, I thought he played pretty well. I was happy with him. I also liked Brindley, but I always like watching Brindley. So.
Yeah. I thought Sammy had an up and down game. I thought he would make a play that I didn't like so much, but then would follow it up and correct it with, okay, that's seemed like he was upset that he would make he made that really bad play in overtime.
Yeah, that was not
could have
great.
just ended it. I mean, if that ended the game, good Lord.
I would not have brought him up if that ended the game.
No, yeah. So,
or I would have, but not positively.
Right. I thought Brock Nelson had another good game. He continued just to be cruising along here
all the time.
Yeah. Where'd this? Oh, here we go. Because how many shots on goal did he have? He had 4, and he had a couple really good, that have just been going in for him. But we just keep going back to Dostal, just how he was just standing tall in this one. You had, wow, I didn't see this till now. Ross Colton, 5 shots on goal. So not only is it just he's just the most snake-bitten player in the league right now, and it's not just he's getting 1 or 2 shots that are good shots and not going in. You got 5 of them, which I believe is the most on the team.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. McKinnon only had 3. Yeah. Jack Drury, who played a good game, he had 4 on the defensive side. Cale McCarr had 4. Sam Malinsky had 4. So Manson had 3. It's weird. They didn't we talked about those first 2 periods. This wasn't this exciting edge of your seat hockey, but it was fine hockey. It was okay. It was. It's not what you're used to with Colorado Avalanche hockey, because you are expecting that excitement And that's what you got in the third period. What you got in the third, you're expecting for all 3 periods. And because it wasn't there, I think the knee-jerk reaction is to just be like, oh, they were like terrible. I don't think they were terrible. It just wasn't normal Avs hockey. And I guess the one way you could look at it is like, if they're playing a different opponent and you play like that for 2 periods, if that opponent is, I don't know, Vegas or Edmonton or, Carolina, you might be down 3-0 and it's insurmountable.
Yeah.
So I guess there's 2 ways to look at that.
I don't think, I agree. I don't think it's terrible. I don't think it was the worst period of hockey they've played this season. But that second period, I did not really like much of any of it. They did still have some opportunities, but I feel like, and maybe it's just a little bit of perception there. I know they had multiple times they were hemmed in their own zone. I don't really remember any extended shifts in the offensive zone. They'd get it in and get a couple shots off, but it usually came right back down the other way. Whereas, again, in the third period, like you said, it's what you expect. We've got Anaheim just pinned in their zone for extended periods of time until, and I'm going to start a tally of 2 things in the games. 1, a Nathan McKinnon centering pass in the offensive zone that goes directly to an opposing player's tape, because that seems to happen at least twice a game.
Okay.
And then 2, defender on the blue line gets a pass back to them, and the puck skips the instant before it hits their stick and goes right over the top of it and out of the zone. Because that seems to happen 10 times a game.
Yeah.
I know it's not that much, but it is definitely amplified, and it's always the worst moments.
Yeah.
And that happened a couple of times in the third.
Yeah, I thought for the Avs, it was tough to get any like odd man rushes in this game. Anaheim did a great job of back checking, and even saying that, I think the Avs, like their best opportunities, and again, this is a time where they've been connecting on them, is you're gaining the zone fine. And then, you'd have, those guys that are trailing and you pass it back to them and they just fire a puck on net. There's not, that's out from the perimeter, not like, the expected goal rate on that is usually low, but it's just a shot on net and anything can happen. Right. So that was all of their offense, and that's okay, because you can, garner a lot of goals that way, which they have done this entire season. You just had Anaheim blocking a lot of those shots and really not a ton of tip-ins and redirects. And, Dostal wasn't really giving up any juicy rebounds or anything like that. So I think they were content to just, sure, go ahead, take those shots. We'll either block them or our goalie's on a roll right now. He's not going to give up a rebound. They weren't giving up anything like right in the net front. It was tough to get anything additional from that first shot.
Well, and that's what was difficult. Lecky's goal? Like when you think of a Lehkonen goal, you're thinking typically of a right up in the front, greasy goal, knocking home. No, it was a beautiful pass, like excellent play, more to the side. That whole game, it did feel like when the Anaheim Ducks were in the defensive zone, they're just stacked in front of Dostal. They are taking those shots, but Anaheim did a great job. Like you said, you don't have a chance at a rebound, because even if it does pop out, there's no less than 2 Duck sticks on that puck
right there
within like a half a second. You have no bodies in there. You can't get bodies in there. And also, to your point, and I felt this was especially in the second, a little bit in the third at times too, but mostly first and second periods, those passes in the offensive zone, Ducks are in lanes the whole time. Like a shin, a stick, something, and it just broke up a pass. So, there's some things I feel the Avs can clean up. I don't know how you do. That's also really good defensive play from Anaheim. So, credit to them.
In the third, though, you kind of, if you want to focus in on that, that was more of what you're like. You did have some more sustained offensive possessions. Anaheim, all Anaheim could do in the third was just flip the puck out of the zone over and over and over and over again.
Like that's all
they could do. Like they were just on their heels the entire period, and a goalie who was not as dialed in as he was. This would have been a 6-period, one of those like just off the rails periods for the Avs, but because they were, how many shots on goal in the third alone? 18.
Yeah.
18 to 4. They only had 17 shots on goal. So it's not like you played terrible defensively. I thought Wedgwood had a very good game overall. The one goal that they got in regulation, he just didn't see it. He probably wants that one back. And, the only thing they got in here was in the shootout.
He even put his arms up like, what happened
where
in
was
front of
that?
me and what? Yeah, exactly. I also do we have to shout out Victor Olofsson's game-saving save, because
oh man,
if he doesn't come into the crease right there, Wedgwood makes a solid save, and it's on fortunate bounce that it just basically goes up and over him right back onto the goal line. And here comes Olofsson just screaming into the crease to poke that out. So
that was good.
Awesome. Love to see that. And that's the difference between a point or no point tonight, is that play towards the very end of the game.
Yeah, because there was just over a minute left when that happened.
Yep. When that popped up and over, I definitely tensed. My whole body just
it was right there.
Yeah.
It was right there. So yeah, great defensive play by him. So I don't know. Like I said, I think the way that this game went and how long it took you to finally get the equalizer, if you got that extra point in overtime or in the shootout, you would have stolen this one. I don't want to be there if I'm the Avs on home ice. And Anaheim's on a 5-game winning streak, so they're pretty confident. But they were out guys today that they didn't have, which I wasn't even aware of when we were talking about them yesterday. And Carlson, Carlson's not even in it. So that's not a good look though, when their top scorers are not there, and you struggle to get anything. I mean, I know those guys don't play goal, and maybe you would have still had the same issue because Dostal was just incredible.
Possible.
Can't say it enough. Yeah. So, but just a frustrating one, just because you are, you're a better team than them, and these things happen in the NHL. I get it, but I guess you're lucky to escape at the point.
You are, and I don't want to be doom and gloom. It's just one loss. I'm not having a panic attack over here, but it is a very frustrating outcome, especially with how you played in the third. Especially looking at things clicked, you did everything right, and it's not a phrase I think I've used this year, so using it in January, I'm happy to do it. You got goalied. You really did.
You did. Absolutely. Let's see what our subtext crew has to say. So we'll check in with them and get our sound checks in after this. All right. Over on the subtext side, we got some people chiming in on this game. So let's see what they got to say here. So Christina says, why? Literally, why must they toy with my emotions like this? Fighting the ice and the dang posts all game. Dostal played absolutely lights out. So good for him, I guess. Lots of opportunities for the boys to win. Just didn't capitalize. But at least we got a point. And it wasn't a regulation loss against the dang Ducks. And she also says she hates shootouts. So in some weird way, when the Avs scored that goal, of course I'm happy. But I was almost I kind of feel for Dostal here for not, as well as he has played. Man, it's got to suck right now to give up that goal. So
the only reason I can feel for him is I feel like this has happened to Wedge a handful of times this year, where you're getting late into the third and a goal pops in, and it's either a defensive breakdown and a really great play, or like you said, a weird bounce. It's one of those two options that just seems to beat. And at the beginning of the year, we joked about it forever. The Wedgwood won, but I do feel like that's happened to him a handful of times. Yeah. So I agree. I can feel a little bit for Dostal.
Yeah.
Not too much because I want the
Oh,
wins.
no.
But
No.
yeah.
Not
just,
a lot.
Just enough. A schmidge.
Just
yeah.
Some humanity of like, man, you played a really good game. I got it. Adam says that was a frustrating game. If the Avs played with the same energy they had in the third period during the first and second, Avs would have been walking out with a 5-1 win. Instead, it's a shootout loss. Dostal was unreal. Sean had a decent game, but I can't wait for Taves to get back. Taves has been missed because he just claims the decent defensive side of everything. He clamps, I think he meant to say, clamps the defensive side of everything down. Which then leads to everyone else being more productive on offense. I think he's honestly been the missing key in the stretch that we have gone on. I mean, look, like Devontaes is a very important part of this team. They gave up 1 goal in this game.
Yeah, defensively, it's hard.
I can't say like, I mean, you would love to have him back, clearly, but I don't think they played a terrible game defensively in this one. So
no, not at all.
Point is still well taken that yes, we do need Devontaes back. Yep.
But more so, it's Landeskog.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like it's Landeskog. Different guys that are out mean different things. Like Landeskog is just everything.
Exactly.
When Val is out, for some reason, this team's record when Val is out is just flipped on its head. Taves,
so
you know what I mean? Like you're missing key parts of your team. So I get it. I get it. Lisa says, I was working on a paper for a college class and wasn't paying much attention until the third. In that time, Dostal was frustrating. Glad he didn't get to frustrate me for 60 plus. That OT was incredible, though. Both goalies made some great saves. Just one of those nights the Avs got stopped by a good goalie. And I think that's really all you can say.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That was the difference. That was a fun overtime, though. Those are overtimes that are fun. A lot of good back and forth there.
I just wish McKinnon would have shot. I'm so glad that it didn't end up when he opted for the pass again, and that's another one I could have tallied, but tried for a pass, middle of the ice, picked off by the other team, brought all the way down, and Wedgwood makes a great save, but I thought that was going to be the end of the game right there, too. It was that one and the Sam Girard one. I just wish he would have shot. I thought he had enough of a lane to take the shot, and didn't.
Hoffakorn says goalied, but got a point out of it after battling the whole game. And then Zach R says, got to give credit where it is due. Coach Q had his Ducks committed all night to clogging up the lanes for the Avs and selling out to block everything. I sure hope we somehow don't run into the Ducks in the playoffs, because I could see them being a problem for us, especially if Dostal keeps standing on his head. Roscoe can't buy one. Played a great game, but just can't seem to pot one. And my goodness, what a goal line save from Olofsson. Overall, a great game, Zach says. So I don't think this Ducks team can hang with you over the course of a 7-game series. I don't think they could do that.
I would be very surprised if they could.
Yeah, but could they steal 1 or 2? Sure, definitely.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
All right, that's where we're at with this one. The only thing we got left is, of course, our sound check. So that's where we each pick a song, summarizes the most recent game, put these songs up on a playlist over on Spotify and on YouTube Music. Search for LOA Soundcheck Volume number 5 is what these songs are on. So what do you got, sir?
So as a random joke he posted, and based off of, I'm assuming it's the correct pronunciation, but Mark Mosier all night saying Gautier's name as Gautier.
Okay.
And so the Avs fam account puts somebody that I used to know. So I'm just going to go with that because I need a little chuckle. And now every time I scroll through that Locked On Soundcheck, I will see somebody that I used to know and appreciate Avs fam for I appreciated the dad joke entirely. So shout out to Avs fam Twitter. That is my sound check.
Amazing how that guy just created like the song of the year whenever that thing came out. And what's he been doing since then?
I don't even know that he exists anymore. Like that song helped him transcend reality because he just disappeared.
It's one of those songs that's just like I can't listen to it anymore. Like I didn't, you know, it was on the radio so much I got tired of it. And I don't listen to the radio a ton. But it was on enough where it's like even now it still plays and I have to change it. I'm like, I can't listen to the song anymore. And it's unfortunate because it's a well-written song, but it just got played out. And I mean, he collected a paycheck and bounced.
Good for him.
Good for you, man.
Yeah.
Good for you. I'm simple. I'm going, and this was because of the first and second we talked about it, and then you woke up in the third. So that's what I'm going with. Rage Against the Machine, Wake Up. Because
perfect.
If you do that, it's easy to say that, oh, play that way in the first and second, but they did. They absolutely woke up in the third, played a much better third. But if they had done that in the first and second, we'd probably be celebrating 2 points right now instead of just the one. So
yeah, for sure.
That's where we're at. All right. Those songs are up on the playlist. So go follow, go listen, enjoy. And we will be back tomorrow with anything new going on in Avalanche Nation. We'll be talking about it on tomorrow's episode. So make sure you're tuned into that one. But for this one, thank you for tuning in, making it your first listen of the day. Always appreciated. He is Mr. Zach Pearson. I am Chris Micieli. This is the Locked On Avalanche podcast, where, of course, you will have, or you did make it through another 24 hours. Where's Sidney Crosby that much closer to being with the Colorado Avalanche?